Hey everyone, I am Joe. I have been on the DoorDash platform since August 2020 and the Uber Eats platform since September 2020. In this video, I just want to share some of the tips and tricks I've learned along the way, which is strictly just my opinion and what has worked for me personally on these apps to maximize my earnings. I think some of the most important things are to really know your market or your zone and to know how customer service can go a long way talking about tips and maximizing your earnings. I am very proud to say on DoorDash, I've completed over 700 deliveries and maintained a 5-star rating. And on Uber Eats, I completed 1,000 deliveries, maintaining a 100% satisfaction rate from the customer. I do have a long history of customer service as I came out of a retail management position for 17 years. So doing gig work has been a nice welcome break for sure. When I first started doing DoorDash and Uber Eats, I really didn't have any idea that I could decline as many orders as I wanted. So here I am accepting this one, accepting that one, and meanwhile it's taken me further north towards Wisconsin or further south towards the south suburbs. I didn't know what I was doing. So at the end of the day, I'd see I was maybe 60 miles from home and said, this is not good, there's gotta be a better way. Luckily, I did find some other YouTubers who really talked about strategy with dollars per mile and trying to stay within your zone. And I also learned that I did not have to accept everything. So now I do decline quite a bit. Something that I've learned in the months that I've been doing this is that I actually prefer the morning rush. That's not a very popular opinion out there in the gig world. The reason I like it so much is that I luckily am in a zone where I have 2 Starbucks, I have a Dunkin' Donuts, 2 McDonald's, an Einstein Bagels, a Panera Bread. So there are a lot of places that the people in my zone can order from for breakfast. I do have a couple of videos on my channel. My very first video where I made $55 in 2 hours during the morning rush, and then another one where I made $100 working 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. capitalizing on that morning rush. For the lunch and dinner rush, I found that it's very important to know the restaurants if they have different hours during the weekdays versus the weekends, and which restaurants use which platforms. So a lot of the restaurants near me, the nicer restaurants for dinner, actually use DoorDash and Uber Eats, but I have noticed that some of them use only one or the other. So if there happens to be an Uber Quest that I want to complete, I know which restaurants to be near that only use Uber Eats. On the other hand, on DoorDash, if there is a peak pay going on, like $1.50 for every order or $2 for every order, I'm going to want to be near those restaurants that use DoorDash. Another plus is that I actually live less than 3 miles away from my power strip of restaurants. So I actually turn on the apps in my driveway and usually will get an order right away that'll bring me to that power strip where I stay all morning, all afternoon, all night long. The good thing about that is that it does tend to keep my mileage low throughout the day where I truly can do orders that are $2 per mile. The other great thing about being near a power strip is that when I do get a double order or a stacked order on Uber Eats or DoorDash, those restaurants are actually walking distance and makes it super easy and fast to get those double orders picked up and delivered. When it comes to deciding what orders I want to take on DoorDash or Uber Eats, I do prefer DoorDash because it does give you more information about exactly where you're going. So I have an Android and I know that on my DoorDash app, if I have an order coming in, I do have enough time to minimize the app and then that little floating widget will come up and show me exactly where I'm delivering to. So is it a house? Is it an apartment building? Is it an office building? And it also gives you visibility to the customer instructions. On Uber Eats, you can zoom in on the map, and if you know your market really well, you may know if that's where apartment complexes are, office buildings are, but you are kind of left out wondering where exactly am I going on Uber, because it only gives you the intersection that's nearest to where your delivery is. Now, this is probably my favorite part of delivering on DoorDash and Uber Eats is knowing about the hidden tips. That kind of helps you to decide which orders you're going to take. Unfortunately, DoorDash and Uber Eats hides the tips from us drivers when we're trying to select what orders we want to take to prevent the cherry picking so we don't only take the highest paying orders. So I have learned in my market on DoorDash, if you get an offer that is $8 or more, that is a 90% guarantee that once you drop that order off, it's going to be higher because they're hiding the tip. I'll insert a ton of screenshots of offers I've taken that are $8, $8.25, $8.50, $9. once I drop off, that total could be $10, $11, $12.50, whatever it may be. Once I made it to the customer and dropped it off, I saw that the total was $18.25, so the tip was $15 total, which was absolutely incredible, and the total was $10 higher than what was shown. Very grateful for that. So delivery ended up tipping more than what was shown, which was great. And then there's a restaurant. That happens a lot in my market during the dinner rush because obviously the orders are a bit higher if people are ordering dinner for an entire family. So that is always a great surprise. Once you hit delivered and complete delivery, you end up getting more money, which is always great. I notice in my market on Uber that if an order happens to be in the double digits, $10 or above, and it's a single order, not a double order, that is usually a sign, I'd say 80% of the time, that once I drop off, it's going to be higher.
In an Uber Eats Facebook group that I'm part of, they said once you drop off and you see your base pay earnings compared to the total, if there is an exact $8 difference, that means you're going to get more money. Essentially, Uber is hiding the visibility of tips over $8. So what you're seeing here is my base pay. Uber is paying me $5.45, and it looks like the customer is tipping me $8 exactly, bringing my total to $13.45. Once that hour to hour and a half has passed where the customer can adjust the tip, I saw that my earnings were actually $15.45, meaning the tip was $10. As you can see, Uber states that the customer tipped you even more after delivery, making you think that it was perhaps your service that upped the tip, but you'll see in the next couple Uber deliveries why we believe that Uber is just hiding the tips. Here is just a full breakdown of the pay, Uber's base pay, the promotion going on in the area, and the customer tip for the total of $15.45.
My belief is that Uber will max out the tip at $8 and not show you what the full payout is to prevent that cherry picking. So there are some times where you deliver and it does say the customer tipped you more after delivery, which is true. And another trick I learned, especially delivering throughout the Chicago winter months, which could be pretty brutal, I deliver with a hot bag. So when I take that picture at drop off, I make sure to show that I use the hot bag, so it's always showing in the photo a little bit. So as far as customer service goes and maintaining my 5-star on DoorDash and my 100% rating on Uber Eats, I tend to not contact the customer unless it's completely necessary because I don't want to annoy them or overwhelm them with notifications because the apps do send notifications on every step we do. So once we accept the order, we get to the restaurant, we pick up the order, we're on our way, the apps are already notifying the customer those situations. And I will contact them, for example, if they are very behind and the order is going to be late, if something is out of stock and they want a replacement or a refund, and so on. To protect myself on DoorDash, I do use the timestamp app, which is a favorite of mine because it shows the date, the time, the address of everything at your drop-off. I'll send that photo to the customer and thanking them and telling them to have a great evening to let them know that it has been dropped off. Contacting the customer on Uber Eats is easier because it's placed directly through the app. Every single leave at door drop off on Uber, I do put a little note in there to say, have a great day, have a great morning. I'll add a coffee emoji if I'm delivering Starbucks. If it's from Einstein Bagels, I'll put a bagel emoji just to add a little bit of a human touch to the delivery. And you never know, sometimes it may increase that tip because Uber gives the customer about an hour to change the tip after delivery. As you can see, for example, on the DoorDash platform, not many customers take the time to rate you, which is why I try to strive for 5-star ratings every delivery. Out of the 738 deliveries I've done, only 46 customers have taken the time to rate me, or 6.2% of customers. If I did get a customer who rated me a 4-star or below, I'd have to wait 100 more ratings for that lower star rating to drop off. While ratings are not the most important thing, you are in danger of being deactivated on DoorDash if your customer rating goes below 4.2 stars. Things to remember: you can decline as much as you want, you will never get deactivated based off of your acceptance rate alone. Find a market that is saturated with a ton of restaurants and make sure you learn the patterns and habits of those restaurants to get in and out of there as fast as possible. When you accept an order, make sure you know where you're going and if the mileage is worth the payout offer. Remember to use your customer service skills when necessary to always add a little bit of a human touch and to protect your ratings and your tips. Know how to spot a hidden tip when you're accepting those offers. Make sure to always use the timestamp app to protect yourself against potential fraud. And most of all, stay safe and have fun out there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!